Okay, y'all, let's talk about this grass here. This is turf type tall fescue. It is mixed with a little bit of KBG, which is Kentucky bluegrass. And when I say a little bit, about 10%. But because the seeds of the Kentucky bluegrass is so small, 10% of it would probably end up being about half of the grass that comes up. Let me get a wider view. Now, I haven't done my landscape trimming and stuff, but anyway, this is what I got going on here. And people who are familiar with this type of grass, a little bit familiar with it, I've always get the statements of, oh, it's all gonna die. It's in Texas, it's gonna die. They've been telling me this for 7 seasons now that this grass is going to die. And you know what? Some of it does die depending on what type of weather I've had for the summer. And it's been 7 years, and some of those 7 years, a few of those summers within the last 7 years, we had the hottest summers on record. Last year alone, we had 130 days plus over 100 degrees, and we probably had maybe half or close to 100 of those days above 110. Extremely hot. On my YouTube channel, where I show all of this stuff, you know, I have each month updated and its performance. I've also showed the aftermath. Last year I showed the aftermath about this grass, and you will be surprised at how much this grass survived. And one of the things that people don't understand who don't grow this grass does like what other grass does, like St. Augustine and Bermuda. It goes dormant. It's not necessarily dead. This is the part where their understanding of this grass goes awry. It's different. It's different from the grass that maybe you heard of yesteryear. These types of grass have been genetically modified to withstand more heat. Now this type of grass can be placed further and further south or in more warmer climates. This grass is performing differently. This is the Kentucky bluegrass and the turf type tall fescue, all been bred to withstand more heat. Another thing people don't understand about this grass is that this grass has the RTF, which is rhizominous. And what rhizominous means is that the grass spreads out laterally. It spreads out. Turf type tall fescue just usually grows its roots straight down. It doesn't spread. In order for you to get fescue to spread, normally you will have to plant more seeds. So that right there is also a difference that people don't understand. So let me get down to this. When you think about this, when you think about grass, there's no perfect grass. This grass is close as possible. This is the closest grass that you'll have out there that can pretty much stay green all year long, depending on what type of summer you have and your cultural practices and how do you take care of it. Now, this is why I say, hey, just like and subscribe to my channel, because I've been doing it long enough, and I pretty much got it down pat. And I'm going to try to tag the video last year after having a brutal 130 days of over 100 degrees, and the majority of the lawn survive. Most people think that you're going to lose it all. I have no doubt that some other people are going to lose it all, especially if you don't follow me, because one of the things that people don't understand, they would think that the heat is killing the grass, but they actually have a fungus issue. So I've pretty much dialed in the fungus control to where the fungus is not really the issue here, because this grass can withstand a lot of heat. But back on the topic of different types of grass, there's no perfect grass. Even if you lose this grass, it's already going to be green the majority of the year. Even if it does die, I'm saying that's the worst case scenario, which is not all going to die. Even in worst case scenario, that's a couple months. That's a couple months out of the year that your grass will be down, and then, you know, right after the summer, you just go ahead and plant more, and then you keep on going. But what I don't understand when you talk to people like that is Bermuda, my Bermuda can go down in November and it won't come back up to June. Last season, it didn't come up to June. It didn't get full until June. I'm ahead of schedule this year. The weather played a good part. But this is my Bermuda lawn, and yes, I know I got to do some work, but hey, I got to work. I'm a work in progress here. This lawn was only green last year from June until you know, November, which is a short time period. And I do know that there's different varieties of Bermuda, just like there's different varieties of the grass that I have. It has been Bermuda, some Bermuda has been cultivated and been bred and altered to withstand more shade, and it lasts a little longer. So some people, some Bermuda brands, the Tiff brands, Celebration, you know, they can go into December still green. That's not all, but still, it's still going to go dormant, and it's going to be completely browned out, or it's going to be, if it don't go completely brown, depending on where you are, maybe even further south, it just not going to be as stellar as it is during the hottest times of the year. So when you think about it, it doesn't matter. There's no grass that's going to give you that 100% green all year long. The best possible way to get that type of grass is to go with a turf type tall fescue. And the only thing outside of that, you need to move. You need to move to a climate, move to South Florida, someplace where the grass, the temperature doesn't change too much, or it doesn't get too cold where it doesn't go dormant. That's the only option you have. So most of us are not living in those conditions. So you're either gonna have grass that's gonna go dormant in the summer or the winter. Now this grass will go definitely dormant in the winter months, whereas this grass right here will keep going even in the winter months. And one of the things that's good about turf type tall fescue is that before it goes dormant, the first thing it does is stop growing. It'll just stop growing. When it gets really hot here, I literally don't cut this grass. June is usually about the last month, maybe, you know, the end of June. Definitely no cutting in July, no cutting in August. Don't really have to cut until like maybe even in September. And then in September, I'm starting to take it down because it's time to overseed at that point. And also, this grass will come out of dormancy if you let it go dormant. There's ways to keep the grass, unless you have a summer like what we had here in North Texas, over 130 days. You know, you're gonna have some die-off, and you're gonna have definitely dormant grass. But all of it didn't go dormant. Check my videos for that. This is something that I have all the videos that's documented, so you know what I'm saying is true. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna pick out an old Bermuda. So what you're looking at in my lawn is old fescue and new fescue. The thin one being the new. This grass, this grass, it takes the grass a good season or more in order to get to this. You can't get this in a few months. You can't get to this size. So this is a mature, old fescue plant, very mature. And I'm showing this so that people can understand that you can't get this. This grass will not grow within a few months like this. This is going to take your grass a year, 2 years to get to this. It's going to take a while for it to develop to this. So I'm showing this, how can I have it? How can I still have this? And if it dies every year, it's because it doesn't die every year. So if you're thinking about getting this grass, go ahead. Because the worst thing, the absolute worst that could happen is you'll be down for a couple of months, because Bermuda and St. Augustine, all those grass being down, gone brown for half the year. A lot of people are not interested in that. I'm not interested in it. I'd rather just deal with whatever this grass brings, and I'm green the majority of the time, as opposed to spending all those months with brown grass. Anyway, that's my Turf Type Tile Fescue rant. Like and subscribe to my channel so you can keep up. I'm in a different part of the country, showing you different ways how I deal with the heat. And if you somewhere else with cooler temperatures than what I have, just think how well your grass will perform compared to mine by following my regimen.